Hi, it's Kevin Lobates here, and today I want to talk a bit about patent examiners because I've been thinking about what it must be like from their perspective. So as a patent examiner, you've gone and got a degree in some kind of science, technology, engineering or mathematics field, and then you've gone and got another qualification in the area of law, and you've studied all the legal stuff surrounding what can and cannot be awarded as a patent and what the processes are. So you put a lot of work into becoming an expert in patents in your particular field, and then you start examining the patent applications submitted by various inventors and corporations in your area. And you have a limited amount of time, from what I understand, to look at these patents and determine whether they satisfy the requirements of novelty, non-obviousness, whether it's something that is allowed to be patented or whether it's a law of nature or something that is not. You've checked the quality of the application to make sure it's not full of spelling mistakes, that the claims in the patent are structured in the way that they are meant to be, because claims in patents are very like programs, but in the English language or in the language of the patent office that you work at. And then at the end, you sign off and say, yes, this deserves a patent. And then 99% of the patents that you award are not even going to be used in court or anything like that. They're just going to sit there almost as trophies in the patent collection or patent portfolio of some company out there. So, and then there's that tricky 1% which do go to litigation, and there suddenly you find that in America the Patent and Trademark Appeals Board can overturn it pretty much at a whim, and it's a panel of people who are looking at the patent who aren't even experts in the field, or it could even be a court judge who did a degree in literature or history at university and then studied law and became a lawyer and then a judge, and that person may overturn the patent. And of course a patent examiner doesn't have the same visceral connection to the patent that the inventor does, or the owner of the patent, but it must still be kind of frustrating from their point of view that their years or decades of experience and the days of work that they put into approving a patent can just be wiped out by one judge saying, well, I don't get it, I don't think it's a valid patent. So I think to me that kind of reveals two problems with the system. One is we're putting an awful lot of work into reviewing these patents, most of which is actually for no purpose. So you could almost take the approach that let's just do a kind of quick automatic scan of every application and just award the patents, and then shunt the cost of determining whether the patent is valid or not off into the actual cases where it's significant, because that would get rid of 90-95% of the workload immediately. And then what was my second point? So then the patent examiners could actually be expert witnesses in the court cases instead, and they would actually be focusing on the real key things that people have filed patents on. And I imagine that patent examiners must look at the things that come across their desk and go, oh, this one is never going to make it to court, maybe I'll put a little bit less effort into reviewing this one, whereas this one looks like it might actually be something significant, maybe I should spend a bit more time on that. So if you're a patent examiner, does that actually happen to you? Because I know that if I was in that situation, that's the kind of temptation I would have, is to rank them in terms of how likely is this actually going to end up being something that's being examined thoroughly, at which point my work will be looked at more thoroughly, because I would want to make sure that the things that I really focused on were those ones that I thought might actually see some kind of action in the real world after they're approved. Anyway, just a few thoughts on what it must be like to be a patent examiner. As I said, I have a mathematics degree, I don't have a law degree, but I have spent a fair amount of time reading patents, so I can't help wondering what it's like actually working at the USPTO or the EPO or somewhere like that. Anyway, leave a comment below if you have something to say on this. Hope you found it interesting, and see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.